When we imagine a major corporate cyber attack, we usually picture a shadowy figure in a dark hoodie hammering away at a keyboard, shattering a glowing digital perimeter to steal millions of files. Companies spend billions of dollars fortifying these external walls with complex software patches. But according to the 2025 Verizon Data Breach Investigations Report, 54% of these vulnerabilities are ever fully closed. But even if an organization perfectly patched every flaw, they'd still be vulnerable. 60% of breaches involve the human element, and that vulnerability extends beyond direct employees. Breaches involving third-party partners doubled last year, reaching 30%. Organizations are building massive digital fortresses to keep attackers out. But the statistical reality shows the era of the external invasion is over. The most dangerous actors are the ones who are already authorized to be there. Corporate data, everything from customer records to proprietary code, operates like a highly liquid currency. For employees who already possess administrative access, the temptation to monetize that data can be overwhelming. Take a former research scientist at Yahoo. Minutes after receiving a job offer from a direct competitor, he downloaded roughly 570,000 pages of Yahoo's intellectual property to his personal devices. Or consider the high-profile case involving a lead engineer on Google's early self-driving car project. Before leaving for a new role at Uber, he transferred thousands of highly confidential files to a personal laptop, extracting over a decade of expensive research to gain a competitive edge. Sometimes the motive is simply revenge. At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, a medical packaging vice president was furloughed. In his final days in the office, he used a secret account to log into the company's network and permanently deleted critical shipping data, delaying the delivery of personal protective equipment to hospitals. A company can spend millions of dollars building the strongest network firewall on Earth, yet these defenses fail when the attacker is already on the payroll. Malicious theft actually accounts for a small fraction of data loss. The vast majority of internal breaches stem from simple human error. In 2017, an employee at aerospace giant Boeing was struggling with some basic spreadsheet formatting. Looking for a quick fix, he bypassed internal security protocols and emailed the document to his wife's personal email account, hoping she could figure it out. He had no idea that hidden columns within that spreadsheet contained the social security numbers, birthplaces, and employee IDs of roughly 36,000 of his coworkers. Today, this negligence has evolved into an entirely new format: generative AI. Currently, 15% of all corporate employees routinely feed internal company documents into public AI platforms to summarize meeting notes or write code, exposing their company's private data to a public machine learning model. Standard office workarounds are built on everyday convenience, and that convenience often bypasses the strongest security protocols in existence. Because technical perimeters have become so difficult to crack, many external attackers have stopped trying to break software altogether. It is much easier to just hack the human operating the software. Attackers recently targeted employees at Twitter using highly convincing phone-based phishing campaigns. Through simple conversation, they convinced workers to hand over their login credentials, instantly bypassing the company's perimeter security and granting the hackers access to internal account support tools. With those internal tools unlocked, the attackers took over 130 high-profile accounts, locking out the legitimate owners and blasting out a widespread financial scam to millions of followers. This tactic works on supply chains, too. Hackers compromised the credentials of a third-party application vendor working with Marriott hotels. By walking right through that external vendor's legitimate access point, they extracted the personal contact information and loyalty numbers of over 5 million guests. An organization's digital infrastructure is ultimately tethered to a human being. The defense holds only until a single employee or a single external contractor is tricked into opening the door. Traditional data loss prevention software, programs specifically designed to stop data from leaving a network, are functionally blind to these kinds of threats. They are programmed to sound the alarm when they detect forced entry from the outside. When an authorized user quietly drags a folder of proprietary code onto a USB drive, or types their valid password into a clever phishing page, the legacy software doesn't see an attack. It just registers normal, authorized daily activity. Security teams are adopting a model known as insider risk management, which prioritizes the monitoring of behavioral abnormalities inside the network over the defense of its digital boundaries. To support this, corporate budgets for internal monitoring have doubled in the last year. This is a chart showing the direct financial risk of these breaches. 44% of all cyber attacks now involve ransomware, and the median payout to those extortionists sits at $115,000 per incident. Relying on complex network architecture to keep a company safe ignores the root cause of data breaches. Data cannot exfiltrate itself. A person has to move it.